Welcome to your Cosmic Sanctuary, beautiful loves. I'm Elle, your holistic energy alchemist, and I am here to introduce you to something that is very near and dear to my heart, to my soul, to my very being, and I call it the I Am Method, right? It is something that I developed over the last few years, probably starting in 2022, when I started to do a deep dive into shadow work. And I didn't really understand what shadow work was. Everybody was talking about it, but nobody was really giving you a simplistic, definitive, and understanding as to what shadow work actually is and entails. So I went on a journey within myself of discovery, and through that discovery, I started to understand really what shadow work is, how to do shadow work, and how to really get to the root of everything. So, most people think that shadow work is you trying to get rid of aspects of yourself. You're throwing away things that you don't like about yourself. When in actuality, true shadow work is an integration, it's a calling back. You're calling back your own energy that you have discarded and suppressed throughout your entire lifetime and many lifetimes because someone told you that it was bad. It was a bad trait, right? And when we are younger, we create these personalities that we feel are going to be more accepted by people because nobody wants to be rejected. Believe me, I completely get that. Nobody wants to be rejected. And so in order to be what we would call to fit in into a community, into a society, we take on traits of other people in order to feel like we are loved. Because to fit in is because we want to feel loved. The shadow work is actually calling back in your energy, which is calling back in your love. That is truly what it is. Because everything about us, what we truly are, is love. We are a divine expression of God here on this plane. And some people say, oh, we're children of God. You can say that as well. And so in order for you to do the shadow work, what I channeled throughout my process in this past 3 years has been something, like I said, I call it the I Am Method. And I Am stands for Energy Alignment Master Key. Because at the end of the day, the true way to tap back into who you really are, your authentic, unique self, which is the soulful or the soul self, is to integrate which in actuality aligns you back to your soul. It puts you back in direct communion with the divine within. And so this process is a three-step method. And the first step is what I call nurture. Back in 2023, I started something called Nurturing Your Divine Feminine. I didn't initially call it that. I just started doing practices that felt very nurturing to me, that it felt good. I talk all the time how I have a Cancer ascendant, and so it felt good to be able to turn that nurture back inward because I easily nurture others, which causes for people to get a little bit addicted to that. And they will then outsource their nurturing to me instead of cultivating that in themselves, that inner nurturer. We all have an inner nurturer, and most people just starve that aspect of themselves, or they overgive it to others, and then they feel like they are depleted within themselves. So tapping back into and activating and cultivating your inner nurturer, it allows for you to build up yourself in a way that feels easeful, and you feel loved and you feel held and you feel supported, and it's all created within you. So that's the nurturing aspect, which I'll get into in another video because I didn't tell you guys, but this will actually be a mini series where I get into my I Am method. So the first part of that is nurture. The second aspect of the method is called balance. And balance is in alignment with my Libra moon. And so balance is important because if we are not balanced, We are going to experience what people call sickness. We're going to experience lack. We're going to experience poverty. We are going to experience anything that does not create a coherent life experience for us. And so, in the balance portion of it, we'll be getting into how we balance the mind. Whereas the first aspect, the nurture, we tap back into our body, we tap back into our intuition, we tap back into learning the language of the body. The second part of balance, we tap into balancing the mind. So, nurture, body, balance, mind. And in actuality, we'll be working on all of these things in both steps, but the main focus will be nurture body, balance mind, and we integrate both in both processes or in both steps. So, in the balancing portion, which I will get into more detail of, we work on bringing coherence with the brain, which we'll just call the mind, and the heart and the body. All right. And then the third step is what I call expand, is when we get into the expansion. Because you can't expand until you have done your nurturing, you've integrated, you've tapped into and tuned into your body and your intuition, and you've gained some balance within your mind. So then we get into the expansion portion where we are working on a soul level, because the body and the mind, and I've heard this through her name, I think is Dr. Sue Morter, and she talks about, I think it's her, don't quote me, but I think it's her, talks about how the body and the mind are actually tools of the soul, which she was the first person I actually heard say that, because my own spirit had led me into this probably last year when I was doing my spiritual work, and I heard that the mind and the body are supposed to be in union with the soul. So the soul is the driver, and the body, the soul, is supposed to be able to use this vehicle to experience this life. And then the mind is supposed to help you focus so you can focus on the thing that the soul wants to manifest or realize in this life. So in the third step with expand, we get to expand on exactly what the soul came here to do. Expand on the gift, which is the soul. So in that 3-step method, I will basically give you a little bit of what I do and how I have been able to utilize that to cultivate a more fully soulful embodied aspect of myself. And so I'm excited to share that with y'all. I know there's other things, but I don't want to go too long in this. I just wanted to let you know that a series will be coming with the I Am Method, Energy, Alignment, Master Key, and it's a whole experience. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. So stay tuned, because I'm going to get into the nurture aspect first. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into your cosmic sanctuary.